No, just stop the intro. We don't have time for this. Just cut to me. Cut to me! Oh, goodness. Primus on a bicycle. What do we just get ourselves into? Hey, remember that Sonic movie we talked about a while back? Well, the trailer came out. Alright, let's be professional. Let's be calm. Alright, let's talk about this. Now, I'm not exactly a negative Nancy when it comes to the Sonic fandom. I said that before. There's a lot of things that people don't like that I appreciate. Of course, I'm not alone in saying that Sonic has had his missteps. I did review one of those before. But this... yeah, I'm with everyone. This is terrible. Just look at that like to dislike ratio. That is sad. So let's look more in depth in this trailer, shall we? Starting with the good. Nothing is without merit. That is including this trailer. Even the worst of the worst has something good hidden in it. Transformers The Last Night was practically the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But there were some good things I could point out for it. Let's start from the basics. The logo's nice. It's reminiscent of the current logo, but with its own twist. I like the spines on the C, it's cute. I think it's my favorite logo in the franchise, so there you go. That's something it did better than the games. The posters are actually really good too. It reminds me of some of the set pieces in the Sonic games like Speed Highway or City Escape, but you know, with the movie Sonic, and he actually looks better than he does in the whole movie. Well, what we've seen of the movie so far. Let's talk about casting. Pretty great across the board actually. I can't say much about James Marsden as Tom the Cop, except this isn't his first rodeo with CGI animals. We don't see much of his character aside from James Marsden doing a decent acting job. I just don't like the idea of Tom the Cop in general. So let's talk about the characters we actually care about. Ben Schwartz as Sonic. An absolutely brilliant choice. Mr. Schwartz is no stranger to playing nostalgic blue cartoon characters, and this is just another one to add onto his resume because he captures the spirit of Sonic exceptionally well. And Eggman steals the friggin' show, man. Sure, you can say his performance is very indistinguishable from other Jim Carrey roles, but it works. Eggman in recent times has been a very eccentric villain, and this fits that mindset very well. Eggman especially, I think, is going to be the most redeeming factor. In terms of stuff I'm partial on, why is Sonic Doctor Strange now? Dude can use rings like sling rings. He could just teleport people from the city to the farm in an instant. Granted, it has some sort of basis in the source material if you count, the giant rings that take you to the special stages. All I'm saying is that I'm not expecting the tornado to show up anymore, if he can just warp to places. And Sonic having electric properties like the Flash now. I mean, I don't hate it, but it just sort of came out of nowhere. Alright, that's all the stuff I'm okay with. Which means we have to get into the bad stuff. Why is the cinematography so boring? It's so gray and gloomy and kind of disgusting. And no, it isn't about Sonic trying to portray the real world, because Sonic portrayed the real world before, and it's called Sonic Unleashed, and it looks infinitely more vibrant as Sonic goes across different continents. You need to establish more of an identity. Look at Detective Pikachu. How it's shot is very neo-noir, kind of like Blade Runner. Speaking of which, what is this uninspired plot? Cartoon character going into the real world, helping this down-on-his-luck random guy while an eccentric villain tries to chase him down in order to take their power. Wait a minute. That's just the plot of the Smurfs! Why does Sonic have to come from another planet? Do they think that Sonic never existed in a real-world environment before? Oh yeah, Sonic's always been in the cartoon wilderness, sure. As long as you don't count Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic 06, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic X, and Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood. Yeah, no, Sonic has been with real humans since 1999. Even the military angle is technically accurate since there was a military group called Gun since Sonic Adventure 2. Although something tells me that this wasn't their intent, especially since the military shots that show this is the Pentagon and not Gun. So no, this wasn't an attempt to get to fans, this is just having to shove in a military subplot because heck, Transformers did it, right? Did they do any research in the modern era at all? Or did they just think, oh hey, classic is all that exists because everything else after that is crap? Because all we have is the bare minimum here. We have Sonic, we have rings, we have the classic sound effects sprinkled here and there, that's great, right? And Eggman looking like Eggman for the final scene that probably looks like the post-credit scene. Wait a minute, what's that background? Is that mushrooms? Like, realistic mushrooms everywhere. Wait a minute, is that supposed to be Sonic's world? Is that supposed to be Mushroom Hill from Sonic and Knuckles? Ugh, even when trying to do the classic stuff, they can't get it right. Guys, the reason why we like Mushroom Hill isn't because it's just full of mushrooms. It's a vibrant forest and the mushrooms are cartoony and in different colors. You'd want to be there and just experience the wildlife. Here, all I can see is beige as far as the eye can see with no variety. Speaking of variety, let's talk about these Eggman robots. Dang, they're boring! I wasn't expecting for them to take the classic badniks that we all know and love and just slap them with no change. I feel like, yeah, maybe that doesn't work. But at least what they could have done is let them have the basic shape, then you can make it look very militaristic. Eggman's a very eccentric, crazy guy. Even in this movie, do you honestly think it would be out of place just for him to have robots based on insects? This just looks like Michael Bay's scraps that didn't make it into Transformers 6 after Travis Knight rebooted it. In fact, a lot of this looks like Michael Bay's scraps. The alien premise that was supposed to be in the 2014 Ninja Turtles, the robot designs, and is the truck that Eggman came in, is that Galvatron from Transformers 4? Man, Paramount's were using more assets than an Idea Factory game.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Sonic's horrible design! First, there's some shots that are good. There's some shots where the design looks fine, such as overhead, or maybe just looking at the eyes. Yeah, no, this thing is an abomination. It's not even the proportions anymore. I guess I can get used to it, somewhat. But look at that face! I can see why Sega disapproved of it. It's been haunting my dreams. I can't sleep at night. Send help! Say what you want about the Bayformers' designs and how inaccurate they are to their G1 counterparts, but at least they're recognizable and iconic and appealing to look at. And Detective Pikachu, which is coming out in like 2 weeks, shows that you can stay true to the original design and have it fit into the real world. But the face is just disgusting. It's like merging a hedgehog with like a real human's face. It's like Ben Schwartz is trying to pop out of it. This isn't an episode of Doctor Who, right? The one with like Absorbaloff? You know, that one. The animation's so stiff and lifeless too. Is this the best Paramount got? Especially since other big budget film studios, or just other studios in general, did him better. Here's Sonic done from Marza, Sega's own film studio. Here's him done by Disney in Ralph Breaks the Internet. Here's him done by Warner Brothers in Ready Player One. Here's him done by Blur Studios, the exact same people that are working on this movie. And look, there he is with the real humans. Ooh la la, it works. Anyone, including themselves somehow, could make a better movie than the one we're seeing. The best kind of adaptation should be the one that provides an entertaining experience for the viewer, no matter who they are, but also show them why fans appreciate the character and the franchise too. It satisfies fans, and it brings new people into the fandom, and look, you'll make a lot of money, and you'll get good critical reception. Is that so hard? Look at Warner Brothers, they're already ahead of the game, and I'm certain Detective Pikachu is gonna make like $1 billion. Because they never ignored what made the source material so good. Instead, they embraced it. And yes, adaptation and creative liberties need to be taken, but it doesn't need to be insulting where you need to ignore everything and give us nothing but an uninspired plot and nightmares. I don't know what's gonna happen. Sonic is my favorite franchise of all time, and I want to see him on the big screen. I want to see the Sonic that I know, the Sonic that I grew up with, but also have people enjoy him again, have him be mainstream, be all over the shelves, have posters across. He'll be on top with like maybe Mario again. But I guess that's not a reality, at least not now. The best we can hope is that this movie and the reception would encourage Paramount to at least keep trying. And maybe it'll deliver us a Bumblebee or the Smurfs: The Lost Village and give us the Sonic that we needed. Am I asking for too much? I don't know. But the best I can do is hope. Sonic's been through a lot, but there's one thing I do know about him, is that he'll keep on running. And although this is his next hurdle, he'll spin right through it, and we can only be more excited for what he stops by next.